Hi, hello, how are you? I forgot to unmute myself, so that was close. Good morning, happy Sunday morning to everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. I am having a superb weekend so far. I'm in the middle of a 4-day weekend. Took Friday off, took Monday off, so coming at you in the middle of what has turned out to be quite a productive a weekend in the sense that I've gotten more rest, but conversely, I've also gotten more activity. And so usually my schedule during the week kind of limits what I'm able to do. And so about once a month, I try to take a day or two to for myself just to intensify the workouts a little more. Hey, Ted, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. I understand B Kong is probably doing a live stream right now as we speak. And so those of you that are over there and then come on over here later, that'd be great. I appreciate each and every one of you. But anyway, as you can see, there's been some changes to the arcade. I literally, and I was a little late getting the stream started because I didn't have time to go to the bathroom. So I don't know how long this stream's going to be. I'm just going to throw some chit chat out there. I was not able to create a script or an outline of what I wanted to talk about. So this may be the shortest stream I've ever done. And maybe not. So we'll see. I do want to talk a little bit more about the GRS Build-A-Cade, how much I've fallen in love with it. I haven't gotten to put any more ROMs on it. Again, I was kind of busy and so busy relaxing on Friday and Saturday. Well, Saturday I had a good reason to relax because I ran 15 miles. So I had to kind of take it easy yesterday. So hopefully today or tomorrow, later today or tomorrow, I'll get some more cultivating of my Build-A-Cade image done. And as I said in the past couple of streams, my plan is to get an image taken of what I consider to be my favorite games. And then for the 3 Build-A-Cades that I have still in box, I'll just copy that image over to those guys. So they'll have the same games on them, but each one I'll configure so that the marquee game will boot directly into the game on each of those Build-A-Cades. So if you didn't catch what my plans were for those Build-A-Cades, one of them is going to be a Donkey Kong skinned, the other one's going to be a Donkey Kong Jr., and then the third one's going to be a Popeye skin. And all of that artwork is on order from Joe Zabo. So it's really dependent on when I get that artwork in as to when I can actually start these projects. I am going to order a 4th art kit from him and turn my currently built Build-A-Cade into a Miss Pac-Man. And that's for my sweetheart, really. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. I thought about early this morning as I was working out what I wanted to talk about today and what I wanted to do. And the main thing on my mind was getting this thing a little bit rearranged. Let me switch over here to my all camera view. This is the quarterdeck arcade. You can see one side of the arcade is almost completely empty. The only thing I have on the left side of the arcade now as you walk in is my Defender Partycade, and I may move that to the back wall next to the AtGames Legend Ultimate. So just to put them in camera. Here we go again. I'm starting to. Sorry, that mute button comes in handy because literally I haven't drank anything. Last thing I did workout wise was I did 40 miles on my home bike trainer. And so I had a couple of hours left before the show started. And I, of course, you know, you fellow streamers out there will know it takes a little bit of setup to get everything together. And depending on your setup, you know, if unless you've got everything laid out already and just fire it up and go, that's great. But I have to. I don't set up my streams until the day of. You all might notice that because you don't get a notification about it in YouTube until like an hour before the show starts. So I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get better at maybe scheduling my streams a little in advance, farther in advance. One of the things I've kind of told myself in going forward with streaming is I wanted to at least pick one thing and do better at it each week. And I haven't really started that yet. So I'm got some things in mind. One of the things I want to get better at doing thumbnails. You all know if you click on any of my videos, it has the same thumbnail pretty much. I do change it every once in a while, but I want to get better at doing YouTube thumbnails. I just don't set aside the time that I should that I should to get those done. But anyway, so if you look behind me and you look at the other camera views, you can see I moved the AtGames Legends Metallica skinned pinball to the wall behind me, and that's to. I got tired of looking at my past streams. I got tired of looking at that blank wall back there because of all the arcades that I've had to sell recently. So I moved the Legends pinball there, and that's partly to showcase the artwork on it. I don't feel like it was getting its due sitting back there in the corner next to my Legends Ultimate arcade. So I moved it there. And then I also took the table with the TV behind it that you see right here. And the table's holding all of my numbskull and New Wave Toys stuff. Actually, I don't have any numbskulls anymore, but that's where it would be if I had any numbskulls. But the three that you see behind me, the Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and Berserk. So, and then Glenn's GRS Build-A-Cades will join those once I get them built. And you can see I still have the work table set up behind me with all the GRS stuff on it. So, yeah, some a little bit of a arcade shuffle today, and so I literally ran it up to the start of the show, getting everything wired up, and I actually was one USB port short, so I had to disconnect something in order to plug in one of the New Wave Toys devices, and I sacrificed. I have a sign. You can't see it. I have a sign hanging that says Crossdeck Arcade in it. And one of the things that I need to get better at is turning that on. Well, I'm recognizing that I haven't turned that on in a while. I just unplugged it and plugged in one of the New Wave Toys just to get it up and running. And the TV, it was going into Roku screensaver mode, but I had I brought my logo up on the TV. So anyway, what do we talk about? The big thing that went on here in the arcade this week is I gave AtGames a lot of love. Screw it. I just put a fireplace on. I didn't have much time to play with having an image up there on the monitor, but it looks better, right? I mean, having something in the background there and again versus nothing. So Anyway, AtGames. So one of the things I did this week is I gave AtGames a lot of love, and AtGames has been in the news. It's National Owners Day weekend right now going on, and I did buy a couple of things. I bought the Natural History Pack 2 for the HD. I don't own a 4K pinball yet, so I bought it. I'm really happy it came out for the HD, so I bought that, and I also bought the Tato Pack 3. So I have all the Tato packs, and I haven't had a chance to mess around with the tables in the Tato pack, but I have played the Natural History Pack 2 games, and I have to say, I'm super impressed. They play well. The only thing I will say is my right flipper seems to be acting up, and I haven't taken it apart yet to see, but I have got a couple of replacement buttons on order, and I'm waiting for that to come in, and I may just go ahead and swap them out anyway. So they should be 1-for-1 replacements, but gameplay on the new Natural History pinballs are pretty amazing. I like the design of the tables, the playability of the tables. I like the fact that on every game there's a post in the middle between the flippers that helps keep your ball in play. So I'm having a good time with it. I'm not approaching P-Dub's level scoring, so you won't find me on the top 50 on the AtGames leaderboards. But so those are a couple of things I bought for National Owners Day. I have given some thought before the sale ends of going out there and buying 1 or 2 more packs. We'll see. But I did a little maintenance this week on all of my AtGames units, and I own the pinball behind me. I own the Legends Ultimate on the back wall there with the window, underneath the window. And then upstairs in my home office, I own the Legends Mini. So that's there and available to me as I'm working from home. I'm taking breaks. I can just slide over to that rather than come down here and fire everything up down here. And then I can take a quick break playing a game I love, and then get back to work. So I did a lot of maintenance. I was behind in updates, so I caught up on updates. There was some table game packs that had updates, like the Gottlieb pack had updates. One of the things that I really cleaned up was those of you that own AtGames Legends HD pinballs know that they come with a lot of games to begin with. Gottlieb tables are on there, being one thing. I went out and bought the Gottlieb game packs anyway because I wanted to be able to play them on the Legends Ultimate back here, and I also wanted to be able to play them on my Mini because every one of my AtGames devices has pinball buttons on them. So, but one of the problems was on the pinball, I had installed that pack, the Gottlieb packs, on my HD, and that essentially gave me duplicates. So when you clicked on the game that was a part of the game pack, it would error out and just go back to the menu. So sensing there was a conflict, I knew I had to remove those game packs to favor the onboard tables. And so I did that this week. I went back, I cleaned up, I uninstalled the Gottlieb table packs from the actual pinball. And then that left me with just the games that came with the pinball on the menu, which cleaned up the interface a little better. No duplicates. So that was one thing. And then I also had some pinball packs that had updates. And I don't remember exactly which ones did, but I had a couple, and I had to update those. So I had to update the pinball packs on every one of my AtGames devices. The pinball, the Legends Ultimate, and then the Legends Mini. So I got that done. So it was an AtGames week, really. I gave AtGames a lot of love. The Legends Ultimate over there underneath the window gets a lot of play because I have coin ops on it, and I play a lot of Robotron. So in fact, if you look back there, you can see it's running Robotron right now. So anyway, so yeah, AtGames. GRS, I have it. One of the things that I wanted to start messing with was, let me backtrack a little bit. So I got the, I'll get the box here because it's right behind me. So two things came in, and I don't know if they came in last week. I don't think they did. But I got the GRS panel pod, and what this is an external, it's an external handheld device that holds the spare keyboards for the GRS Build-A-Cade. So rather than take your GRS Build-A-Cade apart, you can just buy one of these, and then this thing, it has no screws. It's all magnetic, and there's plastic connectors that connect them up, and then the magnets help hold it into place. So should be a matter of minutes. We're going to test this a little later, I think. Should be a matter of minutes of swapping this out. And then I also got the 6-button control panel, which GRS sells. T-Stick sells a kit with 4 control panels. That would be this thing right here. So you'll get 4 control panels, and what the control panels that it has is it has the trackball, the spinner, and then it comes with a steering wheel that you could put on top of the spinner to make it a driving control panel. And then there is what else? There's the dual sticks, the dual stick control panel, and then this one I don't have my eyes in. Looks like another single joystick. Oh, it's a joystick with 3 buttons, 3 action buttons. So these 2 items came in, the pod and then the 6-button control panel. But what I really wanted to play with, because I'm such a lover of Robotron, is I wanted to test out the 2 joystick version. So this is what the built panel pod looks like. I'll tilt it here so you can see it. So on the back, there are buttons. You've got your D-pad, and you've got your select button right here, and then you've got buttons that you can program in the emulation station interface, and that threw me for a loop when I first started playing with this week. But yeah, so that's the dual stick control panel. I really wanted to test Robotron out, and it plays pretty well. It's a little irritating on such a small screen because, as you know, Robotron is a horizontal game. It's not a vertical game. So, and the GRS Build-A-Cade is a vertical interface, so, or vertical screen. So it plays well. Am I able to achieve the score I'm able to back there on the Legends Ultimate? No. It's kind of awkward playing, but what I have to test soon is the HDMI out capability of the GRS Build-A-Cade and see if I play any better being able to see it on a bigger screen. We might test that later. I don't quite know exactly how to switch it into HDMI mode, but maybe we'll learn that together. So this thing plugs directly into the back of one of the available USB ports of your Build-A-Cade. And forgive me, I don't have my phone cam up and running. So yeah, it plugs in, and then you've got your external interface. It finds it, but what I learned, and this is not in Glenn's video, he did a video on the pod interface. But I don't recall him ever talking about the fact that you need to program, if it's brand new, you need to program the buttons in Emulation Station. So what the panel pod comes with is a set of button mappings for each different interface. And so you have to go into Emulation Station, and those of you that have worked with Emulation Station before know that if you add a new controller and you want to map out that new controller to the buttons that you want, you have to go through their standard controller interface configuration. And so that's what I had to do. And it took me a while to decipher this and know exactly what I needed to do. I mean, it took me a couple of rounds of going through the actual configuration menu. I screwed things up, had to go back out, come back in, and then try to reconfigure the controller. So I finally got it the way it needed to be for the dual stick interface. Now, whether I have to do that for each board, I don't know. Again, something we might learn later. Before I dive into all that, though, I talked about History Pack. Talked about Build-A-Cade a little bit. So one of the things that has been on my list, you can't see it. I mean, if I went, you can't really see it. Well, you can see it on the top image, top camera image, back to the Star Wars Pinball. The glass is there's still like a half-inch gap between the glass and the chrome side panels. So I need to raise that glass, and I've got some thoughts in mind of how I'm going to do that, but I just haven't carved out time. Again, I'm off tomorrow. It might be a project for tomorrow. I kind of toyed with the idea of doing it during the stream, but I don't know if you guys want to see me messing around with that pinball again. So checking the chat. Last night, I successfully used Joy-to-Key to map AtGames Legends Ultimate Controller deck so I could play Atari Recharge games via my PC using Steam. Oh, cool. Okay. I have limited experience with Joy-to-Key. I tried to set up my old laptop as a Pinball FX. And I first tried Joy-to-Key, and then I tried direct Steam mapping. That seemed to work better. But the main problem I had with that is my laptop was god awful slow and just wasn't running the pinball right. So I need to that's one of my goals, is to get a PC for my HD Legends pinball. So once I get that, I'll be happy. But for now, just help supporting AtGames by purchasing their pinball packs. That's keeping my appetite satisfied for virtual pinball right now. Gamer Fridge, good to see you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Andy's Game Room is here. Welcome. Appreciate you joining. Thumper Squid, welcome, welcome. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I did leave a comment on your group's video the other night, Arcades Anonymous. I can't. I won't be at Pinball Expo, even though it's like in my backyard pretty much. The gal and I, we do 2 destination half marathons a year. So one in the spring, one in the fall. And our fall half marathon happens to be in Des Moines, Iowa that weekend. So as you guys are flocking to Chicago, she and I will be driving our way out to Des Moines, Iowa. Heck, we might even pass what's his name? I'm so bad with names. Used to be one of my favorite YouTubers and doesn't YouTube hardly anymore. But Might even pass him on the highway as he's coming to Pinball Expo. Who knows? So the answer is no. I'm not coming to Pinball Expo. And I apologize. As I said in my comment, I've been looking forward to meeting all you guys at some point. But unfortunately, we have a conflict. So we will be out of town that weekend. We just won't be in Chicago. So hope you guys have a great time. Look forward to all the content that's going to come out of the Pinball Expo. I'll be watching it as I'm either getting ready for or relaxing from my half marathon. And I have permission from my gal to, yeah, Justin, that's who I'm thinking of. Thanks, Andy. Oh, corner or console kits. Oh, I'm getting old. Okay. Maybe I need to have my brain checked. But yeah, maybe Justin and I will pass each other on the highway as he's heading to Chicago. I'm heading out to the Des Moines, Iowa area. So Gallagher guy's in Ohio, is he not? If I'm not mistaken. And I'm sitting here in northwest of the city of Milwaukee. I'm about an hour away from Cornercade. He lives on the south side of Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. And every once in a while, the gal and I will go down there and eat at Red Robin down there. And his work's nearby, so we go harass him every now and then. What was I talking about? Oh, we had jumped on Pinball Expo. So yeah, I think that's the general area. We are going to be in Ohio next year. So where is the Air Force Academy? Dayton. It's near Dayton. So the gal and I are our fall activity for Thumper. I knew you were in Wisconsin. I just don't know whereabouts, but I knew that you were in the state. So yeah, the gal and I next year will be my 60th birthday, not to dox my age, but I am that old. I'm a Space Invaders and Pong kid, so that's how old I am. Welcome, Way Too Fast for you. That's a new name. I've not seen you before, but welcome to the stream. I appreciate you joining. I'm not sure what algo is. But again, next year is my 60th birthday. So I said I want to do something big. It being my 60th birthday and all. And the Air Force Marathon is, I believe it's in September, right around my birthday in Ohio. So the fall marathon, or the fall activity for us, will be at the Air Force Marathon near Dayton, Ohio. So hopefully something will get scheduled next year for everybody to meet up and get to meet everybody in the YouTube community. But my plan is next year to run the full marathon, Air Force Marathon, for my 60th birthday. So, and I also plan to set a record time for myself, or in the running community, it's known as a PR. So my fastest marathon time is right around a 4 hour and 30 minute time. And I'm shooting for 4:20 this time. So I will be very pleased if I get somewhere between 4 hours and 20 minutes and 4 hours and 30 minutes. To give you some perspective on, that's not a very fast time for a marathon, but for an old guy like me, it's not Boston qualifying, because I would have to run a 3 hour and 50 minute marathon in order to get in the Boston Marathon. So I will be 80 years old before I am able to qualify for the Boston Marathon. But to put my time versus a fast person's time in perspective, the world record for a marathon is like right at 2 hours. It's just above 2 hours. My favorite Peloton instructor, Matt Wilpers. Those of you who do Peloton classes probably know who Matt Wilpers is. He's one of their running coaches, but he's one of my favorites. This morning, he ran the Berlin Marathon in 2 hours and 41 minutes. My time is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So he's 40 years old and he's still kicking it and still able to run a full marathon in that short amount of time. So I give him a lot of credit. That's amazing for a 40-year-old. And me, I'm almost 60 and just hoping to get like a sub 420. So we'll see. But that's my plan for next year. I don't know how I got on that topic, but talking about running. Y'all want to hear about my physical fitness. There's a few others in the arcade community that have lost a lot of weight in recent history. I'm one of them. I'm happy to report that I've lost 60 pounds since my fitness journey began when I turned 50 years old. So in 9 years, what happened was I went through a period where I lost like 50 pounds. Then I kind of got it in my head that, well, I can eat anything I want now, right? No, you can't do that. Not and maintain your weight loss. So I had to find a balance to make me happy, eat what I wanted when I wanted to, but not as much as I used to. But what happened was around 2018, 2019, around 2018 and 2019, I started gaining weight back, and I gained 25 pounds back, and I wasn't liking the way I looked. So I really cracked down. I'd met a woman who now lives with me here in Wisconsin, and I wanted to be the best person I could be for her. And so for the last 6 years, I've just been, or no, it's been like 4, more like 4. I've been really focusing on myself, getting myself back into shape, focusing on my diet. I have an app for that to help me control what I eat during each day, but still make me happy. I still eat ice cream. I still go to McDonald's every once in a while. I still go to Culver's every once in a while, but I watch what I eat, and so I'm able to keep the weight off. But that's my journey. So if any of you want to know more about how I do what I do have an Instagram page, and I should really put a slide up for that. But my nickname on Instagram is Mr. Fourth Place. So MR4THPLACE. And that's where all my fitness posts go. Daily, I'll post what I did that day. It's more or less an accountability tool for me. So anyway, going back to the chat here. Way to fast YouTube algorithm. Okay. I'm not hip to all the short terms for streaming. I'm an old guy. I'm not new to working with network technology. I'm a network administrator, for crying out loud. But as I find as I get older, some of the internet terms kind of confound me. So thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Nice basement setup. I got only 2 ALUs and just bought the 4K Jurassic Park with SS kit. Oh, that's awesome. So you took advantage of the deal this weekend and got the Jurassic Park. Great. I want a 4K. I can't fit it in my budget right now. There are so many other things I want to do before I get to a 4K pinball. I have the HD back there. That makes me happy. So I can't talk. As long as I'm happy about the HD, I'm not going to jump on it unless they come out with a skin that is just awesome and amazing. So I'm kind of doing the wait and see on what their skins are going to look like. I'm happy with the one I have back here. See, orientation problem. You can't quite make it out, but it's got that Metallica custom skin I laid on it. Let me go full screen on camera 1. So you kind of get a better look and see the Metallica scheme. I have my blue lights on right now, my black lights. So it's not you're not going to be able to make out the artwork very well, but you can kind of get a sense. But I'm happy with it. You know, I do want to get a 4K, but I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what they come out for artwork. I'm hoping they announce another one soon. Good job on a long positive health journey. I had been 260 pounds and now 175 pounds over 20 years of slow and steady and taking my meds. It's the whole lifestyle change. Yes, you are absolutely 100% correct. Lifestyle change. I preach to everybody I tell when they come up to me and ask me, how'd you lose all that weight? I get that all the time at work because people who've been there the same amount of time I have said to me, man, you look so different. What are you doing? I said, I've changed my lifestyle. But without taking away the things I really enjoy. I'm a big chocolate fan. I'm a huge fan of chocolate. Upstairs now in the fridge, I have some Hershey bars. So I treat myself. It's important to do that. It's important to not starve yourself and not deprive yourself of the things that make you happy, because that's only going to make your fitness journey miserable. So yeah. It's been a journey though, and one I'm very proud of. And so I didn't talk about this. The shirt I'm wearing today, I'll stand up here so you get a better sense of it. So this was one of my birthday presents that just came on Friday, and my gal gave it to me. So it was a little late. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, but it's the Kiss End of the World Tour shirt from 2019. And the reason why this shirt holds a lot of memories for me, a lot of good vibes, is because that's the year I met my girlfriend. And her and I both saw Kiss in concert. I saw him here in Milwaukee, and she saw him in Virginia Beach later that year, about 6 months later. So this shirt means a lot to me. Am I a fan of Kiss? Yeah, I like their music. I wouldn't say I'm a fanatic about Kiss, but I do enjoy their music, and I do like them. See, I love their concert. They put on a terrific concert. If they're still doing that, I highly suggest you all check them out because it's a great concert. I mean, to see a 72-year-old Paul Stanley rappel on a wire to a stage that's out in the middle of the crowd from the center stage. I mean, 72 years old, and that guy's up there doing acrobatics, and I give him all the credit in the world. All right, anyway. So let's see, I've been at it for 40 minutes. Let's putz around with the Build-A-Cade, just so you guys get a sense of how to change out boards in that panel pod. I'm just getting my DJI mic set up. That way you guys can hear me better while I'm over there. All right, I'm going to switch over. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm going to turn on the house lights. And I'm going to shut off the black light for now. Got an app for that. Okay. And I'm sorry I wasn't better prepared for this part of the show, but again, I was moving stuff around quite a bit. Find my NDI app. NDI. Turn it on. Make sure I'm on Wi-Fi. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's go full screen on the cell phone. All right. So just going to set it off to the side so I can stand there. Hope I'm not giving you all. All right. So I had planned to have all my stuff unboxed before the show, but it didn't. Again, you know, not enough time. I should have gotten off the bike a little earlier today. But okay, so where's my power supply for my Build-A-Cade? I'm missing my power supply. Bear with me, folks. Live TV again. Wasn't able to do this earlier today. Oh, it's right here, right in front of my face. So what I'm doing is I'm plugging it in because I don't know how much battery power I have left. I was running the battery. Sacrifice my Pong so I can steal some power. There we go. All right. And we'll turn on the Build-A-Cade. So I went over Build-A-Cade a little bit in previous streams, but the build takes patience, obviously. If you get one of these, make sure you just carve out some time to put it together. So we have Glenn's startup screen, and then it'll boot into emulation station. Okay. So I have 68 games currently. Oh, I didn't want to do that. But you can see, so I'm using the external controller, the dual joystick controller, and I'm able to move up the menu. So if I go down to, and his menu is pretty well set up. If I go down, there's an option for, where is it? Dual joystick. There's a dual joystick menu, and it automatically identifies the dual joystick game. So I have 4 games in there. Let's go in there. And you probably can't read that, but I have Battle Zone, Crazy Climber, Karate Champ, and Roboton 2084. Now, what's neat is you can, once you get your setup going and your game's loaded, you can actually go out, and an emulation station has a scraping feature where you can go out to and download these little preview videos. and artwork. And you can kind of hear it. There's Crazy Climber. And then I have Karate Champ, which is the wrong version of the ROM. I need to, this is one of the things I have to do. I have the wrong version of the ROM. I don't have the one I want. So apparently there was multiple versions of Karate Champ. But anyway, so, and then there's Robotron. And again, you can kind of hear sample audio from the game. So I'll select it with the action button here, the A button. There, right there. And it loads the game. So this is going to be kind of awkward for me because I'm actually, let me see if I can do it this way. So I'm standing behind the camera here. I'm trying not to bump it. So coining in is the select button back here. That's how it's mapped. So if we were to press start, it gets tougher to play this on this small of a control panel. Yeah, see, I lost. So it's a little harder to play. Yeah, so it's tough. So that's game over. Oh, high score. I'll just do a few spaces. But so yeah, that's using the external controller, dual joystick controller. Now I could have taken this apart, taken out this control panel and put the dual joysticks in. But you know, the beauty of this panel pod is it allows me to more easily swap out these. So let's do that. So I'm going to disconnect the panel pod from the game, and I'm going to go back to the menu. So I'll go back one more menu so I don't have any preview sound. So I have, this is the box. I have some other control panel options. I have a 3-button or 5-button joystick control panel because they count the player 1 and player 2 start. Then I have the spinner, and then I have the trackball. So I'm going to try the trackball next. But these things are kind of a bear to open. So I've got the box out, and I've already ripped it. But they're tightly packed in there. You just can't. Yeah, you kind of have to open up the other side to kind of push it out. That's just how good Glenn's stuff is packaged. I find that everything I've bought from Glenn is well packaged. So then I just kind of push it out from behind. There. All right. So here's the control panel. It's stuffed in here. So we have a USB cable. And then we have the actual control panel. Now, it doesn't come with the artwork on it. So that's something that you have to do. So this control panel, not every control panel has, and I'll show that to you in a second, has both of these interfaces. The game interface or the controller interface, and then the USB interface. So the dual joysticks here only has the game interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the artwork on. Again, this is stuff you're all going to have to do if you opt for a GRS Build-A-Cade. Hey, Carlo, welcome. Thanks for getting everybody to smash the like button. Gamer Fridge, the Viper, I'm really intrigued by that product. I kind of want to, I am definitely going to buy Glenn's full-size version of the Build-A-Cade. So, and I know that's going to be coming with a Viper in it. So I'm hyped for that product. All right, so I've peeled off the backing, and then this is the part you just got to kind of be really careful about and get it oriented. And then you kind of just smooth it out. So I'm applying the artwork right now. All right, now the artwork comes with a not only the adhesive backing, but it also comes with a plastic protector sheet that you peel off as well to make it nice and shiny. So there's the trackball. Trackball feels okay. It feels pretty good, but we'll see what it's like in gameplay. All right, so now what we have to do is we already have a control panel in the panel pod, so we need to take this apart. So if you've watched, Glenn has a nice video on getting swapping out the panel pod control panel. But like I said, it's magnetic. It just pulls right apart. Take one side off. Take the other side off. I'm trying to make sure I get this in the frame so you can kind of see it. And then it just kind of, you take the bottom piece off, and then you have the back with the D-pad and the buttons. So you can kind of see, here's the extra USB cable. Okay. So I have a feeling we're not going to need this cable that he provides. I think this is more for if you're going to install it inside the machine, but we'll see here in a second. So I need to disconnect my dual joystick control panel. There we go. So, and as you can see, there's only one interface on the dual joystick control panel, only one connection point. So we'll set that aside. We'll put it in the box. I'm going to keep this box to store these as I'm not using them. All right, so now we have the back of the GRS panel pod. And I'm going to take my trackball and connect it. So I've got that connection in, and I need to run the cable. And this cable right here that's already in the panel pod comes with the panel pod. And then that slides right in there. So I have two connections. What you want to do is you want to line up the back first. It kind of goes, the back kind of slides under the control panel. And this might not come across very well on camera, but it does get kind of awkward, but once you get this down, the process down for swapping these out, it becomes a lot easier. So you kind of have to work with the cables in place. All right. That looks awkward. Wonder why that is. Oh, I was doing it wrong. All right. There's a notch right here that meets up with the control panel. You can see that. I don't know if you can or not. It's right here. So the control panel butts up against it. All right. And you kind of have to hold that in place, grab the bottom piece, and then slide it. There's grooves there that you line up with the grooves on the back of the control panel, and then you just kind of slide the control panel over the bottom. Then you grab your sides. If you got to do it right. So technically, you can get this down to just a couple of minutes. I'm just kind of taking my time with it. All right, so now it's together. I have a USB trackball interface. Again, I didn't need to use this cable because I have a feeling this is for if you want to connect this control panel directly into the Build-A-Cade. So we'll set that aside, or we'll put it in here. We'll put that back in the box. All right. And then we'll plug in the panel pod into the available USB port. Excuse me while I get a drink of water. Okay, I'm back. All right. I think I'm going to sit down for this part. All right, so now what we have is connected to our Build-A-Cade is we have the trackball interface. And as you can see, I'm moving the trackball and I'm not getting any menu action. If I were to press I have what I basically have to do, I think. Yeah, see, some of the buttons are working because they are mapped, but others aren't. I'm gonna restart just to reset everything a little bit. So what you have to do is you have to go through that mapping process, which I mentioned. This little thing right here. So right now we're using the trackball. We have the trackball installed, and it's telling you what each button on the trackball control panel is. You have your start button, you have your Y button, you have your A, B, X, and then the trackball itself. And it also walks you through the instructions for configuring RetroPie. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to follow this. So when it is plugged in for the first time, you will have to configure the input settings in Emulation Station from the main screen using the Build-A-Cade control panel. Press Start and scroll to Configure Input. And so we'll go down to Configure Input. And it says, you really want to do that? Yes. It says 1 gamepad detected, and I don't know how well you can see this screen. You probably can't at all. 1 gamepad detected. Hold a button on your device to configure it. So what we're going to do, it detects it, and then here's the, I really don't know if you can see this. Yeah, okay. So that's the menu, the controller gamepad configuration menu. And those of you that have worked with Emulation Station before know this menu because you've had to do it. So it's basically you got to do D-pad up, which is on the back side, on the back side of the control panel right here. So I'm going to work through this. Up, down, left, right. The CP housing. So it tells you that for A and B, the trackball is E. So I don't have to set those buttons. All right, so it's asking me for start, and start is this button right here. And select is the button just to the lower part of the D-pad. And then it wants button A. Button A is the first red button on the new controller. And then button B is the second button. And then it wants button X, which is the third button. The button Y is player 2. All right, now for the buttons that are for the gamepad items that we don't use, we press and hold any button just to get past it. Do it as many times as you need to. I don't need left trigger or right trigger. I don't need left thumb or right thumb. I don't think I need left analog. I don't need right analog. So I'm pressing and holding the button that's been mapped to X just to get past. Okay, and hotkey enable, you're always going to press the select button. So I'll press that. And that's the last button. Okay, so we'll press on OK to store that. And we'll go back. I still can't scroll the menu with the trackball. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to, but I can use the D-pad to navigate the menu. That's what I'm doing. So let's go to the trackball games. I have 2 games available. Trackball games available. Okay, I'll hit A. Here we go. I have Centipede and I have Crystal Castles. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And we'll select Centipede. It's going to load it. Trying to do this. All right, so you see Centipede loaded there. All right, I used the select button to insert a credit, and then I'm going to press player 1 start. Trackball is, and it's actually the B button that fires. Yeah, trackball, it's a little rough. I got to be honest. If I'm going to play this game, I'm probably going to play it on a real trackball game. You kind of got to flick it around to get it to move any significant way. So nailing that spider is going to be a little difficult. So this takes in a little bit of an adjustment period. One thing I don't know is whether or not I have to, once I've mapped a control, do I have to remap it? Every time I change the control panel, am I going to have to go through that emulation station? If I've already gone through it once for each board, do I need to redo that? So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the dual stick back in. I'm going to test to see if I have any control. All right, so game over. I recognize my mic was probably hitting my little assembly here. But that's how you change this out. So we'll disconnect the controller. We'll take this apart. And we'll disconnect cables. Gotta be gentle with some of these connectors. And again, if you ruin one of these cables, you can go out to Glenn's website, and I don't know if he has the panel pod parts, but he's got separate part kits for the Build-A-Cade that I'm really impressed by how he did that. So here's our trackball. We've taken that out. We'll stick it back in the box, and we'll pull out our dual control panel again. So, and we'll go back to the menu here. And go back one. All right. So now we're going to plug the dual joysticks back in. All right. And again, we don't have to plug in the USB part because there's nothing to plug it into. So there we go. Slides together, put the sides on. Come on, get in the hole. Famous line from, or no, kind of an abomination of a line from Caddyshack. What am I'm hung up on something. What am I not doing right? Let's try the other side. Either I don't have this lined up properly. So again, once you get this down, you think after you hear the snaps, I'm not fitting. got them lined up. What the heck? Don't want to force it in there. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, the USB cable is interfering, I think. No, that wasn't it. Live TV, folks. You kind of got to tuck this USB cable away. All right. What the hell, man? It's not liking the lineup here. Well, this is good. You're kind of seeing that it's very picky. All right, so I tucked the control panel over the lip. I think that's what I've been doing wrong, but we'll see here in a second. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have the front of the control panel tucked in right. All right, so now we have our dual control panel back. Let's plug that back in. And see if I have control. Oh, I do. So you do it once. Oh, that's good. So you do it once, it still recognizes the controller. So let's go back to our dual joystick and we'll select. This time we'll do Crazy Climber. And we'll coin in with the select button on the back. I don't think the controls are quite there. I can't get the left arm to go up. It's not playing accurately. All right. So maybe you do have to go through the configuration again. Configure input. This would be a pain if you have to do this every single time where you swap out a control panel. So it detects it. We'll hold the button and we get the configuration menu. And now we're doing the dual. So D-pad up, D-pad down, D-pad left, D-pad right. Start would be the player 1 button on the control. Select would be the button on the back. Button A is the A button on the right. Button B is the top red button on the back of the controller. Button X is the bottom red button. Button Y is the player 2 button. And then we got a bunch of buttons we don't need. Left shoulder, left trigger, right trigger. Trying to remember. All right. I think I screwed this up already. Because I'm at left thumb now. I remember I had to play with this. Yeah, I screwed it up. All right. So what we're going to do, and this is how I got out of it when I thought I screwed up, I turned it off and turned it back on. And I apologize. I should have had this worked out in advance, but and I got this set up the other day. Again, my experience with emulation station software is limited. I've had, I've spent a little bit of time with it, but I'm not one of your in-depth users of it. All right, so let's go back, configure input, press and hold a button, it sees it. D-pad up. I'm going to use the right joystick or the left joystick for D-pad. Up, down, left, right. Start, select, button A, button B, button X, and then Y. And then we got a bunch of buttons we don't care about. Left shoulder, left trigger, right trigger, left thumb, right thumb. And then we're not doing anything with left analog. But we are doing something with right analog. That's the right joystick. This joystick right here, that's right analog. So up, down, left, right. And then we'll do the hotkey and then OK. All right. So we should have full control now. Let's go back to dual joystick menu. Go back to Crazy Climber. A coin in. One player start. Now let's see if we have correct control. Yes. Forgive me, Crazy Climber was not my game. But we have now correct controller cable. We now have correct controller input. All right. So all right. That should be game over, yeah. All right, so now I want to try, I've shown you how to swap out a control panel in the panel pod. Now I want to test out the HDMI capability. So for that, this is why I wanted to have my TV set up ready to go. I have an HDMI cable, but I can't. I got to get it up top. Again, this is a two-person thing, so somebody could grab it. But I am one person today. All right. So I've got my HDMI cable. So I'm going to move the camera. And I'm going to disconnect the power and let this thing run off battery for a while. I'm going to move this over here. Bring my chair. And then we're going to connect the HDMI cable. If I can remember what HDMI input that is. I think you have to switch. There's something you have to do to switch it on. And make sure I got my inputs right. Do I not have that plugged in? No, I don't. What I'm doing basically is I'm mapping out my inputs. Because I didn't do that or didn't have time to do that earlier. So I got to plug in. I'm plugging in another source so I can tell which source I have the spare cable plugged into. All right, so that's 2. What I just turned on was one. I have another RetroPie. So let's see. That's 2. 3 is my Roku. So 1 has got to be this other cable. So I need to figure out how to get Thank you, Ted. I appreciate the kind comments. Let's see. HDMI Build-A-Cade. How do I put the? It won't. Okay, Kev, Greg, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. I know that you're a big Build-A-Cade fan. I saw your Miss Pac-Man video. I really appreciated that. How do I go into HDMI mode? Select it from the menu, and it will reboot into HDMI. Okay. All right. Awesome. Options. HDMI screen. There it is. All right. Kev Gret, thank you, man. I really appreciate that, brother. So it's rebooting. Now, I've done some reading in Reddit, and I seem to recall them saying that don't disconnect the TV to put it back in the original mode, because then you'll just have a black screen. All right, so now we should be on TV. I'll turn this up a little bit. And there's Glenn's little intro. Messing up my little display here. That's interesting. You get a different menu. Oh, interesting. All right, so let's go into Arcade. Again, these are all the games I care about. Not all of them I haven't finished yet, so I'm cultivating my own list. So the menu's a little different between the Build-A-Cade and a full screen, so that's kind of cool. I'm a huge Robotron fan. I'm one of the people that has been clamoring for a Robotron themed or skinned game. Oh, I've got mute on. So this is the first time I've gone into HDMI mode on this thing. So let's see. I've got 3 credits. Ooh, cool. Good sound. Hang on, I was trying to do the volume on this thing. Okay, so it's not so overwhelming. Probably some glare on this screen. I apologize for that. I will say it's a little easier to play on a larger screen. I'm doing a little bit better. The controls are good, except when I die. Ah! I play a lot better on the Legends Ultimate. I'll do this one. So, try another game. So yeah, the controls are a lot better when you can see the screen better. I have old eyes. I've had cataract surgery on both my eyes, and you'd think my eyes would be better, but they're actually not. So bigger screens are going to be what are for me. I love the Build-A-Cade. I love what it does for us. Ooh, no, don't kill him. Ah. Ah. I'm actually having one of my better games. I mean, not the best better game, but there's a new phrase for you. Best better game. I got to make fun of myself, you know. Ah. I love this level. Org. Kev Brett, I don't have the chat in front of me, but if you're still with me, do I need to go? I mean, I don't know if you have any more control panels. If you have the multiple control panels, but if I have to go through Emulation Station and reconfigure this mapping every time I swap control panels, it's kind of a pain. And I realize it might be a limitation of Emulation Station. Who knows? But yeah. All right, guys. So I wanted to show you swapping out the panel in the panel pod. I did that. I don't know how it came through on the video. I kind of didn't see what I was doing most of the time. And I wanted to test out HDMI. Let's test out pulling out of HDMI mode. I like this menu. I don't have anything favorited yet. So it's a different menu, but that's good. So let's do select and do options. No, we need need to go back and put it back into HDMI mode. That's got to be in this menu, right? No. Let me look back at the chat. Yeah, I have a Pi 3B as well, Kev. Understand about the Pi 4 kit. Actually have that with my first Build-A-Cade, but I don't have a Pi 4. I prefer the Pi 3B, actually. And for what I play on it, it's a lot better. Am I in the right menu to switch this back off of HDMI mode? Let me know. I'm not sure. I don't see an option. There's Wi-Fi, splash screens, trackball, show IP, RetroPie setup. No. Should be an option on the main screen. RetroPie. Okay, I was in there. Well, I have very limited menu options here. Start. That's screensaver. I don't think it has, I don't think I need to be in the emulation station menu. It's buried in a sub option, yeah. All right. This is probably not what I wanted, but Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Well, this is live, you know, I mean. What else better do I have to do on a Sunday, right? I don't have any yard work, so I don't have to be outside. All right. It's not Raspy config. Launch the RetroArch GUI so you can change RetroArch options. I'm at a loss as to what the HDMI, where HDMI would be buried under. All right, Kev, I appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'll hit up Google. Going through Google. No, nothing so far. Gotta be easy. It's gotta be easy, right? I mean, for the folks that want to do this on a regular basis. Let's check Wagner, see if he's got anything. Da, 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 da. Live video. Oh, Wagner even gives you a list of his favorite games. That's nice. I wonder if his video touches on HDMI mode. I don't see anything on the website where he talks about it. Oh, you found it. Okay, great. Go to Build-A-Cade screen. Ah! Well, that makes sense. Okay, so just selecting that switches it back. Well, that was easy. Well, now that I know, right? I mean, that's the whole point of learning as we do. You discover these things. I'm sure I would have found that had I played around with it. eventually. But right there, it says Build-A-Cade screen. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Yep, and now I got the Build-A-Cade screen back. Well, Kev Gret, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for helping me out. Appreciate the assist. Oh my goodness. I'm tired, folks. I'm just an old fart streaming on YouTube and likely doesn't know what he's doing half the time, even though I am in the computer industry and you would think I would know what I'm doing. But Raspberry Pis, I have very little experience with. I know enough to be dangerous. I am a Linux administrator, so I'm familiar with being dangerous on the command line. But Raspberry Pi itself, I haven't had a lot of hands-on experience with it. So, and especially when it comes to Emulation Station and RetroPie. So Kev Gret, thank you so much again for that assist. Like I said, I loved your Miss Pac-Man video. Helped me out make a decision. I'm actually going to turn this Build-A-Cade into a Miss Pac-Man for my gal because she's a big Miss Pac-Man gal. So, gosh, we're almost an hour and 45 minutes into this. I don't have anything else to talk about. I started the stream on the fly, flying by the seat of my pants, really, because I rearranged a whole bunch of stuff in this room. And I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you jumping on the stream and watching what I'm doing. I don't come in with a whole lot of prep. You don't. Thanks, Kev Gret. Appreciate it. So what's next? What's next for me? I still am restricted in what I can buy. I'm trying to do the smart thing with my money. Money is needed elsewhere, so that's where it's going. So adding something to the arcade, I'm being very smart about that. I have two things that have to happen before I'm able to buy another product for my home arcade. I basically have to pay off two things. So I'm going to get that done. Going to do the financial responsible thing. But what's next? What do I want to do? I have some things in mind, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait and see what the sales bring us, and we'll go from there. I'm watching Marketplace like everybody else. A lot of people want ridiculous prices for some of the things that are out there, and so I'm kind of holding off on that. But we'll see. I do want a Pac-Man skinned arcade. I have a lot of. I'm going to get that back. I had the Arcade1Up XL, and I sold it because I needed the money for something else. So that's probably at the top of my list right now, is to get a skinned cabinet back in the arcade. And because, you know, if you've followed me for any long period of time, it's all about artwork and ambiance for me. When I walk in here, I want it to feel like I'm back in the 80s. And so, yeah, I'm holding the line, Kev. I really am. I would like to see what Glenn's going to do as far as his what do you call it? My brain is not functioning right now. Got to remember, guys, I burned like 3,000 calories this morning, and I haven't eaten anything yet. So my brain is not firing on all cylinders. Kickstarter. I don't know if he's actually going through a Kickstarter or not, but you know what I'm talking about. So what Glenn's going to do with the full-size Build-A-Cade, I'm definitely on board for that. So I'm kind of focusing my attention towards getting signed on to that. And whenever it comes next year, whatever, I'm looking forward to it. Outside of that, I'm kind of wanting to build back up this arcade into something I can walk into and feel nostalgic for. So that's my goal. Everybody, I appreciate Ted, Kev, everybody else, Andy's Game Room. I appreciate you all jumping on. I'm just a guy firing up the cameras and putzing around in his arcade. And I appreciate those of you that jump on and join me every week and follow me what I do. And I appreciate each and every one of you. If you could do me a favor, though, if you like the stream, hit the like button. If you like my content, go out there and check it out. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy it. I'm not all about subscriptions, so I'm not out to become monetized or anything like that. I do this for fun. I'm having a ball. So thank you again. One thing I want to say is, and I say this every week, have a great week, okay? Have a safe week. Don't do nothing stupid like I tend to do. You would think as I get older, I would get wiser about some of the things I do, but sometimes I tell my girlfriend all the time, I might be close to 60 in age, but I'm more like a 18-year-old in my mind. And so sometimes I do things that a 59-year-old is not supposed to do. And so, but stay safe this week. Have a great time. Those of you in Florida, I'm thinking about you. All the areas affected by the hurricane, I'm thinking of you. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week, okay? A program note, though, before I go. As I told you earlier, the fall half marathon that I'm running is coming up in a couple of weeks. So I will be here next week, but the weekend after that. So in 2 weeks, there will be no show because I will be in Iowa. Now, could I stream remotely from Iowa? Sure. Would you all want to see me, basically slogging off a half marathon? Probably not. So when I go on these trips, I tend to just step away from the arcade and the streaming, but I will, since I'm going to be there in Iowa while you all, or most of you anyway, are going to be in Chicago for the Pinball Expo, I will be watching that content. So I look forward to that. Anyway, other than that, next week I'll see you all. Again, safe week and a great week. Make it a great week, and I'll see you then. Okay, take care.